Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about printing and photo selection. Thank you, Eric, for this question on how to select a photo to print. Okay, lots of different ways to do it. This is a whole art and science, though less so than it was in the darkroom. In old-time printmaking, and if you have a darkroom today still, the type of film you select is just as important as for creating your image and the message you want to convey with it as the paper you select to print it on. The type of developer chemistry you use to make that negative is just as important as the developer chemistry on the paper that you're going to use to print that image. How do you select a picture to print? In a darkroom setting, you have to know how the paper and the chemistry are going to react to the image on your negative and what approximately the final result's going to be. But let's open this up a little bit more. Let's open this up a little bit more. Let's say you've got some huge number of photos on your hard drive that you want to send off and get one or two of them printed on a canvas or a metal print or something like that. Or you have a huge stack of negatives and you just want to know which one of these should I actually print for my portfolio. Look at them. Take your best 10%, take all the rest, don't think about them. Once you've winnowed it down to your best 10%, cut that number in half. So let's say you started off with 50. Your best 10% is 5. Cut that number in half, round it down, you've got 2. Round it up, you've got 3. Now, you're picking from one of 2 or 3 images. That's a lot easier than picking one of 50 images, right? So it's a process of revision. Every year, I take my 20 best photos because that's the number of pages I can get for free in the photo book. And I print a photo book for myself and one for my mom. I start off from a pool of 125 to 200 photos every year. That over the course of the year, I just look at the photos that I take and like, hey, out of this batch of photos, these handful are the best. They go in this folder for evaluation at the end of the year. At the end of the year, I start looking through and I say, this half, not going to make the final cut. Half again, not going to make the final cut. When I get down to about the last 25 to 28, that's when it really starts to get very hard to pick the last 5 or 8 and say they're not making the final cut. Now, once I've got the final 20, the hard part is ranking them. What's number 20? What's number 1? By the time I get to the top 5, honestly, any order of the top 5 would be pretty much okay with me. In a given year, if I have taken 5 photos that I'm proud of, that's huge. That is an amazing, amazing year photographically. If I have 5 photos at the end that I say, I want my name on that photo, I'm really happy with that. So how do you pick a photo to print? Pick one that you would want to hang in your room or your living room or somewhere in your house. Pick one that you would want to give to somebody with your name written on it. Pick one that if it was hanging up on the street and you happened to someone walk past it, you would want to believe that they would say, that's a good photo. Or, I want to know who took that photo. Or, I would want that hanging in my own living room. If you really still can't decide, ask someone else. What makes it hard for us to pick our own images is that we carry the emotional baggage of what we wanted that image to be. We see in that image what we wanted to make it. Other people don't have that baggage. They can look at it and say, that's garbage, throw it out, or this one's amazing. They might see things in your images that you haven't seen yet. So after you've cut down to the ones you think are really the best and you still can't decide, ask a friend who you trust.